Use my family for revenge PRN? You won't believe what we did to him. So this all started about 3 years ago. My cousin who lives in Arizona always had a desire to have professional nude photos taken. She thought it'd be nice to have something for her husband to look at from when she was in her prime as they aged together. Also, I think it kinda turned her on. However, my cousin had no desire to have those photos publicly published. After a few years of chewing on this idea, she decided she was going to do it. She went out looking for a photographer. She had a tight budget and ended up going with this one man who quoted her $300 for a 1-hour photo shoot. He didn't mind taking nude pictures of her. However, she asked him if he had any agreement or something that would keep those photos confidential. He said he did not. She asked him if she wrote up an agreement basically stating the photos he takes of her cannot be saved on any of his devices, and the SD card needs to be given to her and that she should be the only person with a copy of the photos and if he'd agree to that. His only request was that she buy the SD card herself. So she agreed. He sent her what kind of SD card she should buy and she bought it. She also wrote up an agreement in which the following was agreed upon and signed. Photo shoot was to last 1 hour. He would be paid $300. He would edit 6 pictures of her choosing, airbrushing / making her look better, etc. He would also print those 6 photos. She would supply the SD card. He would also delete any photos of her from any device he has. The photos he takes of her, after he's done, should not be saved to any device he owns, and the only copy should be on the SD card when he gives her the SD card. He not allowed to share those photos with anyone for any reason, and those photos belong to her only. Agreement was signed, photo shoot happened, photos were edited, she got her SD card. All things well and good. My cousin figured that was that. Obviously we all know this isn't the end, but just the start, otherwise I wouldn't be posting here. About 6 months after the photo shoot, the photographer contacts her and says he has copies of her photos and knows a website can he sell them to for $500, and if she doesn't want that she needs to pay him $500. My cousin calls me and asks me what I think she should do, as I'm pretty good at handling dynamic situations. I did some Googling and come to find out, this could be considered revenge porn, and that's illegal in the state of Arizona. In fact, it's a felony, which means jail time. Also, obviously this would be considered blackmail, which is also a felony. So I tell my cousin to do this. Don't pay him. If you pay him once, there is nothing stopping him from trying to get you to pay again. Remind him that you are both in the state of Arizona and that it's a felony to distribute revenge porn. Remind him that you had a signed agreement in which he agreed the photos he took of her he would not save a copy and he would never publish anywhere. Remind him if he publishes your photos, you will post him on blast throughout the social media world. She said, thanks. I thought this was the end of that story. But about 6 months later, I'm on Reddit, on my Corn Reddit account. I have a Reddit account I only use to subscribe to Corn subreddits to keep my main account clear of Corn, and I'm whacking off, and I'm in one of the subs when I click on a picture and bam, my weenie goes limp. I'm staring at my cousin in a very seductive pose. I knew she was my cousin cause you could see the tattoo of her son's name and birthday. It was a complicated feeling. At first I was annoyed that my whack of session was ruined by running across a picture of my cousin, and then it dawned on me, the photographer didn't listen to her and must have published her photos anyway. So now things get more awkward, cause now I have to call my cousin and tell her how I found her nude photos as I was masturbating. Not a conversation anyone would like to have with a blood relative, but she had to know. So I called my cousin and informed her of what I saw. I sent her the links. I went to the local Facebook groups and left nasty reviews for him. My cousin didn't want her name out there saying nude photos have her existed so people could go out and find them. I then googled how to DMCA and sent in DMCA notices to the sites I could find that were hosting her photos. I also did a reverse image search and DMCA those as well. I taught my cousin how to do this herself. FYI, DMCA works, and none of the sites even argued with us. At this point someone PMs me an attorney's number. They tell me this attorney was an advisor to the revenge porn law bill that Arizona passed and that we should call the attorney. So I did. I explained the story to the attorney. I left out the my whacking a bit as I didn't feel that was relevant. The attorney then explained to me because I wasn't the victim he couldn't really do anything until the victim contacted him, herself. So I went to my cousin, told her about this attorney and how she should go speak to the attorney. Now my cousin has a flaw in her personality. She's very quick to forgive. I tried my best to persuade her, but she said she felt the nasty reviews we had left and spreading the news was enough. Another 6 months pass and one day my cousin calls me again and says, you wouldn't believe which son of a bitch emailed me. Being the quick thinker I am, I said, the photographer, right? She said yep, and I said, so how much money is he asking for now? She said he's asking for $10,000 to delete her photos and as compensation for the damages we caused to his business. Apparently people don't want to hire a photographer who publishes people's photographs that they paid him to take without their permission. I told it was time to call the attorney. She agreed. Let's skip ahead a year. Apparently said photographer had plenty of money to fight a legal battle. Long end of the story, my cousin got him convicted for blackmail and revenge porn plus successfully sued him and got a civil judgment for a hefty sum of money. He's currently serving 3 years in an Arizona state prison. Granted, after she got her civil judgment he had basically sold everything he had trying to stay out of jail, so it's unlikely she will ever be able to collect, but basically his future earnings now belong to her as I understand it.